Hey there, thank you for joining me for today's practice. My name is Paula. So today is a somatic yoga full body practice. So we're going to start seated, do a little bit of stuff on the mat and then come down onto our back. Today's practice is a few more fuller body movement sequences. So still really gentle, still really within your own capacity, but just a few larger movements. So just a little reminder that somatic yoga is definitely more about the kind of felt experience, so less about kind of thinking about alignment, even though that still is part of it. It's more about deepening that connection to your internal experience and making the practice really work for you and increasing that mind-body connection at all times. So make sure you're nice and comfortable, and we're going to make a start in a seated position. So coming to cross legs, if you feel more comfortable seated up on a blanket or anything that you need to elevate your hips, please feel free to do that for yourself. And then take some time, come into your cross-legged position, resting the hands down onto the legs, closing down the eyes when you're ready. Taking a few moments here to settle in to the body. Just noticing whatever is here for you today. And starting to just feel into your body, just noticing any sensation or points of pressure. You may notice the temperature of the room. Just sensing the space just above the crown of the head. You may notice some tingling, scanning down the sides of the head, the back of the head, the face. Bringing the attention down the back of the throat, sides of the throat, front of the throat. And tracking across the right shoulder, across the collarbones to the left shoulder, back across to the right shoulder, down the right arm, right wrist and right hand. Then all the way back up the right arm, across to the left arm, down to the left wrist and the left hand. Tracking the attention up to the collarbones once again, feeling into the front of the torso, the chest, the belly, the front of the pelvis. Bringing the attention to the back body. Back of the shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back. And feeling into the right hip and the left hip, the right leg, all the way down the right leg, the right ankle and the right foot. Tracking the attention back up the right leg, over to the left hip, down the left leg to the left ankle and the left foot, and then back up the left leg to the left hip. Having a sense of the whole front side of the body and the whole back side of the body. Having a sense of the whole body together. Just allowing the breath to be easy. You may like to deepen into your breathing as we start to transition to blink open the eyes. And letting the arms just relax down by your side and starting with some shoulder circles. You may like to continue to keep the eyes closed, but absolutely feel free to keep the eyes open And take the circles as small or as large as you would like to. Just feeling into that shoulder girdle. You may like to slow down at any points that feel a bit more sticky, and then let's change the direction of the circle. And then releasing that when you're ready. Taking the hands onto the knees and taking this arch and curl here. So we're going to hold onto the knees as we draw the sternum forward, maybe lifting the eyes to inhale. And then as you exhale, drawing the navel in, tucking the chin in to C-curve the spine, and then go the other way again. Inhale to arch the spine, and then exhale to curl, pubic bone to belly button. And again, inhale to arch, and then exhale to curl. And then coming back, lengthening up through the spine. Take the left hand across to the right knee and right hand behind you for a moment. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bring the right arm up and over and bringing the left side of the body towards that left leg. So that left shoulder towards the left knee. And then inhale, come back up, draw the right elbow in towards the side body. And then as you exhale, extend the arm. Just coming to where you feel okay. So no need to go to your maximum range of motion, just exploring this movement. Inhale and then exhale. Opening up through that right side body. And one more time, inhale and then exhale. And then inhale to come back up, rotating back to the front. And then just starting to come forward just to where you can. You can feel free to stop wherever feels right for you today. Just centering off the torso for a moment. Easy breaths. Walking the hands back up. Let's swap the legs around, whatever leg you had in front, and just swap it around. And then let's take hold of that left knee with the right hand, left hand behind you. Taking an inhale. As you exhale, left arm comes up and over, right shoulder towards that right knee. And then as you inhale, come up, left elbow can just come in towards the side body. And then exhale to come over. Take a few more like this, just on your own. Just exploring this side body action with the rotation of the spine. And noticing what range of motion feels right for you. You could keep this really small. You might like to take it as a really large action. And we'll just go one more time. And then coming back upright, returning the torso back to center, and then starting to come forward over the legs to where you can. Letting the shoulders drop away from the ears. And then walking the hands back up, coming over the legs, coming into a tabletop position. Looks like a tabletop position, wrists are underneath the shoulders, but open the knees out a little bit wider, tucking the toes under, and just slightly longer with your stance rather than being really tucked. Knees underneath the hips and wrists underneath the shoulders. And we'll just take some circles over the wrists and back over the knees. You may like to close your eyes here, just feeling into the body. Take any movement that feels right for you. You might take it more into a figure 8 type shape where you might include your head and the sides of the ribs as well. And then let's change the direction. Whatever direction you were going in, you might come back to just circling before you go into the figure 8. Check in with your breathing. And notice if you would like to slow your action down. You can notice where you are in space and where you're feeling those points of pressure. And then if it feels right, you might start to add a little bit more, where you start to spiral into more of a figure 8 with the sides of the ribs, allowing the head to be involved as well. No right or wrong, just exploring. And if it feels like it gets too busy, then just slow it down. We'll finish off in a moment. Coming back to your stillness, sitting back towards the heels for a moment. If it feels okay to keep the toes tucked under, do that. And you can keep the arms soft rather than really extended here. Just take a breath. Just observing the body here. Come back into this wider tabletop position. I'm going to take quite a big action here, keeping the toes tucked under. I'm going to step this right foot forward into this lizard walk and then turn the head to look over the right shoulder. And then we take it back. We take the left foot forward and look over the left shoulder and take it back. So sitting back and then coming forward, looking over the right shoulder and take it back. Left foot forward, look over the left shoulder and take it back. Find your breath. I like to inhale forward and then exhale back. Let's see what feels right for you. Remembering to turn the head to look in the direction that the leg steps forward. So full body action here. We'll just go. Let's finish off our last two. Finishing off your last one. Once again, let's sit back into our child's pose, but you could release the tops of the feet down, relax the arms, maybe stacking one fist on top of the other or one hand on top of the other. Just allowing the hips to be heavy. Use your hands to make your way up to a seated position, and then use your hands to support you to sit over to one side, lying down on your back. Just take a moment. Let's come into our constructive rest position. Feet underneath the knees, arms a little bit away from the body. You can close down the eyes. Noticing just the change in orientation of the body. We've come from seated to all fours, and now we're lying on the back. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bring the head up towards the knees. And then as you inhale, open up into your star shape, reaching out through the fingertips, reaching out through the toes. And then exhale. Gather everything in, knees in. And then inhale. Extend out. And then exhale. Gather in. One more time. Inhaling. And then exhaling. And then extend back out into your star shape. A little narrower than what you might have been doing if you've been opening up into a big star shape. So just a bit wider than your shoulder width and hip width apart. We're going to let the whole body relax as much as you can. If the arms can't straighten, that's totally fine. Just keep them a little bit bent just to where you can. And we're going to just reach out through the right foot and the right arm. So opening out through that right side body, take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, let it soften. Other side, so left hand and left foot reaches out. Inhale, opening up through the left body. And then exhale to soften. Reach out through the right foot, right fingers, inhale, and then exhale. Continue just exploring this action, so reaching out through the left toes and the left fingers, and then relax. Just a few more on your own. When you're working with one side, can the other side let go? So really just working with one side of the body. As often the other side of the body is trying to help out as well. And there will be some residual movement of the other side of the body, but trying to keep the opposite side of the body a bit more relaxed. And then finishing off your last one there, bending the knees up and opening the feet out as wide as the mat. So the outer edges of the feet in line with mat, arms open out to the side. And inhale here. As you exhale, windscreen wipe the legs. So knees dropping over to the right, head can look over to the left. Feeling the contact of the soles of the feet and the back of the head on the mat as you come through center and go to the other side. Looking towards the right. Feeling into the feet, noticing yourself cross through the sole of the feet to the blades of the feet as you go to one side and then the next. And then just continue, just feeling this action. You might want to go really slow, or perhaps there's another rhythm that feels better for you. Feeling heavy into the pelvis. Notice how you can initiate through pressing down through the opposite hip to bring the legs back through center, and then let the weight of the legs drop down. So if you're coming back to the right, you'll be pressing down to the right hip to bring the legs back through center, and then the weight of the legs comes over to the right as the head comes to the left. Press that left hip down to bring the legs back through center. The weight of the legs takes them over to the left, head turns to the right. And just continue, just having a little play. What is it like if you start the action by bringing the knees up? Does that feel different? Checking in with your breathing. And even though the focus is on the legs and the head, can you still have a sense of the rest of the body, the arms, the hands, what's happening with the torso? And then finishing off your last one, come back to center. Let's extend both legs long for a moment. We're just going to take a little moment with both legs long, observing, feeling into the right side of the body. And then the left side of the body. And then feeling into both sides of the body together. And then let's bend the legs back up. If you've had your eyes closed, you may like to open your eyes a little bit just while we set this up. We're going to bring that right foot in towards the chest. So you're sort of bending the knee. It's almost like you're about to go into your happy baby, but trying to interlace the hands around the right foot, keeping the right foot flexed. If this just doesn't feel available for you, you could hold onto your shin or the back of that right legs, see how you go, or you could even just use one hand. And then we're going to take some circles with this right leg. So really as if you're stirring a big pot of soup here with this right foot. And we're feeling this into that right hip joint, that ball and socket joint. and then take it the other way. Or you may feel it really more muscularly in the outer right hip and the glutes. And you can allow the rest of the body to respond to this movement as well, so we don't have to isolate the action. And then let's just take a moment, just settle back into stillness. Take the right knee in towards the right armpit, slightly towards the floor. So we're taking an inhale, and then as you exhale, try to press into the hands away from the floor, but then resist. So it's like your foot hits a wall, it can't go anymore. And then take an inhale to release that right knee, and then exhale, press into the hands. Imagine you hit a wall, and then inhale to release. And we'll go last time, press into the hands, inhale to release. Now this time, if you can, we're going to work towards straightening the leg. You don't have to go all the way straight. You just release that right arm down. You might be holding onto the leg somewhere else. And then inhale, come back, draw the knee in. And then exhale, take the leg a little bit across the body. Go one more time. Inhale. And then exhale, take it across. Now place that right ankle on top of the left thigh. And then let's drop the legs over to the right. Just taking a moment here in your more of a stretch, feeling the weight of that right leg, just opening down that left leg. So weight of the legs just pressing down to the left thigh. Taking some time here. Just opening through the outer right hip into the lower back for some of us. And noticing if there is a big arch in the lower back. If that's happening for you, just try to soften the lower back down towards the mat. Lower ribs in. And then inhale, press that left hip down to come back up, and releasing that right foot down. Once again, let's take the legs long. Just take a moment just to feel into the right side of the body. And the left side of the body. Observing any changes, any differences, as we've been working on that right side specifically. And then let's bend the legs back up, and we'll set up to go to the other side. Bringing that left foot in towards you, trying to interlace the fingers around that left foot, and a little bit of a flex through this left foot. Remembering you can hold on to the leg where you need to, and then just starting with those circles. So imagine you stirring a big soup. And you can allow the movement to have some residual impact on the rest of the body. So you might be rocking slightly from side to side. Continue to feel the sole of the right foot down on the mat. And then changing the direction of the circle. Check in with your breathing. And you may like to have your eyes open or closed, your choice. And then let's come to stillness. Coming to this action where we draw the left knee down towards that left armpit, slightly towards the floor. Inhale. And then as you exhale, press the foot into the hands, but try to resist as if you hit a wall. And then inhale to release. Exhale, press into the hands, and then inhale to release. And then exhale, press. Inhale to release. Last one, press into the hands. Inhale to release. And then this time, let's keep going. We'll let the legs straighten, open that left arm out, and then bring the knee in. And remembering, you may just be not going straight. You might just be releasing your hands to straighten the legs. See what feels right for you. Just a little explore of this cross body action. So the legs coming across the body. Last one. Coming back to center and then placing that left ankle on top of the right thigh, arms open out to the side, and then letting the legs drop open to the left. Weight of that left leg pressing down onto that right thigh now. Just opening into this outer right hip, maybe feeling it into the lower back there, or even the front of the right hip as well. Check in with your breathing. Just keeping it open. On the next inhale, starting to make your way back up, pressing down through that right hip to come back upright, placing that left foot down, extending both legs long, letting the feet fall away from one another. Once again, coming into this space of observing the body. You may notice residual sensation. Bringing the feet flat onto the mat. One last thing, just something symmetrical to finish our practice. Feet hip distance apart. Taking an inhale to press down through the lower back and peeling the spine off, coming into this bridge. And then as you exhale, roll back down the spine and then lifting the upper body off, reaching the fingertips forward, and then inhale to come back down, peel the spine off into your bridge, and then exhale, releasing down and lifting the upper body off. Just a couple more, just in your own time. Finishing off your last one, just taking a moment in your constructive rest. If there are any final little movements that you feel like your body would like here, feel free to take those. And then when you're ready, setting up your Shavasana, if you would like to pop a pillow or a bolster underneath your knees, feel free to do that. Make sure you're warm. With each exhale, allowing the body just to get a little bit heavier and a little bit softer. Allowing yourself to come to complete rest for the next few minutes. Please feel free to stay resting here for as long as you would like to. Thank you for joining me for today's practice. I'll see you next time. Namaste.